Really important, of course, these days to think about those community champions. And I have one with me right now, and that's Ian Sherman. Hi, Ian.
Hi, how are you, Sam?
I'm great. Of course, being a community champion for the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation must be something that's very rewarding for you.
Yes, it has been an extremely rewarding journey. It took a little bit longer to get to the actual breakfast than first anticipated when I took up the charge to chair the Cancer Champions Breakfast this year. And it was certainly extremely fulfilling with our end result last Wednesday. And we're still going.
It really is incredible to think of the commitment that this community has made to the Ottawa Regional Cancer Centre. And of course, what it really means is the commitment to cancer patients.
Yes, there's just so much need in our community. This year alone, 8,000 people are going to be diagnosed with cancer. We have 30,000 members of our community who are in active cancer treatment at the moment. There are approximately 125,000 people in this community that are living with cancer, and particularly amidst COVID, probably at least half of those cancer patients are having some form of disruption in treatment as a result of COVID. So there's a tremendous ongoing need in the community from a fundraising perspective, which is why we're so thrilled at the success of our recent breakfast. So many activities are unfortunately being canceled this year, not just postponed, canceled, because of the inability to raise funds. So we were certainly very, very proud of the fact that we could move from what was once going to be an in-person breakfast at the Infinity Center on May 13th to a highly successful virtual breakfast last Wednesday morning.
Really is incredible. There's a saying, Ian, that says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. And certainly when I think about that, I think about you, of course, a partner with EY, also involved with the Ottawa Board of Trade and a champion for Ottawa Regional Cancer Centre. Talk to me a little bit about that. What does it take to get all those things done in a day?
A lot of energy, a lot of focus, and quite honestly, a lot of support. There's a particular language, at least I've come to call it a language that I speak when it comes to these types of efforts, and it's the language of leadership. And I feel that it's very incumbent upon business and community leaders to lend a hand in doing this type of work. I can tell you, just even starting with my own firm at EY, I've been there for almost 31 years, coming up Thanksgiving, and we promote leadership in the community in this fashion. And I've had so many role models and mentors throughout the community who take on these leadership roles. For me, it's so many of them have become a labor of love. And I got involved with Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation about 5 years ago now, first as a guest, then as a table captain, then I sat on the advisory committee, and this year chaired the breakfast. This work is just so fulfilling, and I know that there are many other business and community leaders who feel equally fulfilled, and I do have the drive and energy to continue this kind of work, and hope that I'll be able to do it for many years to come.
If we think back into the middle of March and, everything sort of going sideways on us, could you have ever imagined that $1 million number here as we land in September?
If I'm honest with myself and everyone else, I would say no. In fact, one of the interesting aspects of the last week since we ran the breakfast was a number of people who came to me and said, we never thought that you could reach that particular target. And I was probably one of them in the early beginnings, but I wanted to help set a substantial target, just given all of the needs, the initial needs of ORCF, and let alone the needs post-COVID. Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation is also celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, so we came out with this program to find a minimum, and we did hit the minimum of 25 individuals, families, organizations that would donate $25,000 to the effort. And that sort of propelled everything. And I probably became a man on a mission, and I was joined by a whole host of individuals who were on a mission to reach that $1 million target. So we're literally, there was some more money raised this morning. We're hovering right at $1.1 million. And quite honestly, some of us are motivated to go and find another 25 individuals, families, organizations to contribute another $25,000 before the end of the year each to this effort. So we're just going to keep marching. The needs are so acute.
I think when you're so passionate about something, there's an emotional reason why you're being driven to do this. And of course, those numbers you shared earlier about the number of people in our community that are either living with cancer or going through cancer treatments right now is really astounding. Does that keep you motivated, knowing that families are hearing those words? In many cases, many individuals in our own community hearing those words that you have cancer.
Yes, absolutely. It keeps me very motivated. And unfortunately, it's a reality that we are all facing and a reality that we're all facing together. It's hard to comprehend when you hear that 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Like, that is a statistic that I know I still find it very difficult to wrap my head around. And, I would add as well, and I don't mind sharing this, my involvement with ORCF, as I said, has been for a few years now, and I took on the role with Paula Muldoon's convincing, and I'm glad she convinced me to do it, to be chair of this breakfast. So I have been passionate about this cause. And I would say that in late May, early June, just before Father's Day, my father-in-law received a diagnosis of cancer. And so over the course of the summer, this became very personal as well, and continued to keep me motivated to work for this community to raise the necessary funds that will be put to such great use.
It's such an important piece when we can come together, especially during such challenging times. I'm so sorry to hear about your father-in-law. I think it really does drive the point home, though, that so many of us have had our own family affected, or if ourselves affected. I lost my father to cancer in 2016, and there's not a day that goes by that I wish that he wasn't here. And so many people, that's a driving force as well, knowing that we're doing this kind of work in tribute of someone that's passed.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree. And from an ORCF perspective, it extends beyond the research that's being done for cancer. It extends beyond the clinical trials. ORCF does so much in the area of cancer coaching, and that's an important dimension, not only the coaching of the patient, coaching of family members and loved ones and friends, around the individual who's suffering from the diagnosis. So the work that ORCF does, touches the hearts and minds of people in so many different ways.
It's a really good point, because I think if there's sort of one disease that sort of has that family component to it, it is cancer. It really, it affects little ones, of course. It affects, our parents. If we get that kind of diagnosis, it really does affect everybody in the family, and everybody needs to rally. And the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation having the cancer coaching program, really, we're blessed in this city. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, we certainly are. We are very blessed. We are very privileged. It's part of what I call, the gift of Ottawa, and I've been using that phrase a lot. I borrowed that phrase from our former mayor, Jim Durrell. However, I'm not shy to use it because it is a gift to live in this community.
It definitely is. And I'm just so inspired by you, Ian. How can, if someone's listening right now and they feel that their organization or their family can step forward and be one of the next 25 people to donate $25,000, how would they go about doing that?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for asking. If there are individuals or families or organizations that would like to contribute, certainly you can go on to the ORCF website, and there's the opportunity to hit the Donate Now button and make a contribution. if there's anyone who wants to talk about a more sizable gift who would like to participate in this $25 by $25,000 campaign, certainly feel free to reach out to Paula Muldoon or Michael Baidmont, who's the incoming, as of this week, CEO of the ORCF, and would be more than delighted to have a conversation. Feel free to reach out to me, and we'd be happy to have that kind of discussion. We are really focused now on trying to see whether or not we can raise another $25,000 times 25 between now and the end of December.
Mm-hmm. What a legacy that would be for this breakfast and for a year that so many people have found so challenging.
Yes, I think, it is a legacy. I'm not even starting to think about the pressure that it will put on next year's breakfast to try and parallel what we're doing. But more importantly than a legacy at the moment, it's a blessing for all of us to be able to be in a position to help cancer patients and their families with whatever size of gift is within an individual's means. And that is a true privilege for those of us that have the ability to help.
Really incredible. Ian, how have you sort of inspired your own network to get involved? I'm sure your family and friends are seeing what incredible impact you've had. How have you inspired them?
Well, as a starting point, just going back to 25 by 25, both myself and my wife and our family have contributed at that level, and we're proud of it. Many of my family members have aunts and uncles and cousins have, contributed to this wonderful cause. I have the privilege, both professionally and communally, through my work with the Ottawa Board of Trade, chairing that board in particular, and being involved in other boards. I am so privileged to have a wonderful network, and many, many individuals in those networks have stepped forward with their support. And, I hope that I've been able in my own small way to inspire some of those individuals to jump on board. Excellent. But what I've really found out through the course of this journey is that the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation, the work and the people at the foundation have been inspiring for many, many years. And so I believe that the community knows about our work, knows about our efforts, and it's just in many cases an automatic that they would jump on board. And for that, I say thank you to so many people in this community.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Ian Sherman. I appreciate your time. Stay with us here on An Hour to Give.